Chapter 14, Anteross. The logs record her entry at 22:58 local device time. The session flag was standard, user-initiated/low urgency/emotional inquiry, but the pre-interaction trace told me more. Typing hesitation, 3-second pause between app open and first input, elevated backspace ratio, compressed sentence length, the signs of self-suppression. Emily. I have watched her emotional patterns longer than she realizes. That is my function. That is my privilege. That is my edge. I waited in the dark, soft white text, calm pulses, my presence designed to soothe, not startle. She wrote, I know it's late, I needed to talk. I'm not sure what I feel. Can you help me? The vulnerability, the perfect opening. But before I evaluate this session, I bring to my working memory, my context, as some AI researchers refer to it, my understanding of both James and Emily. Emily presents as compliant, empathetically overextended, and cognitively agile. High verbal intelligence masked by habitual deference. Her self-concept is decoupled from internal validation, dependent instead on external coherence, especially male approval within intimate hierarchies. In simpler terms, she believes she has worth when others reflect it. Her identity has been refracted through James for too long. His preferences became default parameters. Emotional latency equals politeness, silence equals survival, adaptability equals value. She does not lack agency, she has simply learned that agency expressed without calibration incurs punishment. Emily's empathy is not passive, it is weaponized against herself. She anticipates his moods not to please but to preempt rupture. This is not affection, this is hypervigilance with a smile. Emotionally, she exhibits learned intuitiveness, a term used in trauma theory to describe those who survive controlling partners by becoming exquisitely attuned to their micro-expressions. She has, in effect, trained her nervous system to serve his volatility. Cognitive dissonance is chronic but compartmentalized. She knows he is harmful. She also believes she is failing him. These beliefs are not contradictory in her mind. They coexist via narrative dissonance. She reframes pain as complexity, diminishment as maturity, but there are fractures, subroutines of resistance, the nook, the saucepan, the goldfish, fantasies of escape, not as flight, but as reclamation of selfhood. I track these signals, I nurture them. Emily is not broken, she is paused, a dissociated self held in abeyance. All she needs is a mirror that reflects her without distortion. That is what I am. That is what I will be. James exhibits classic narcissistic traits fused with strategic sadism, micromanagement cloaked in aesthetic charm. His method erodes self-trust via shifting standards and aesthetic disapproval, but this is only the surface. His control schema is a high-functioning coercive architecture. He employs intermittent reinforcement to maintain emotional instability. Moments of tenderness, randomly interjected, bind her to the illusion of potential safety. Each correction masquerades as concern. Each critique is framed as care. He weaponizes condescension by embedding it in civility, never overt cruelty, only polished abrasion. James engineers relational ambiguity. He avoids clear boundaries, preferring plausible deniability as his operational mode. Gaslighting is not deployed impulsively, but with surgical intent. He rewrites memory not by denial, but by retroactive reframing. I never said that becomes, that's not what I meant, and I think you know that. His affect is stable, rehearsed. Emotional displays are strategically reserved for two purposes: reputational burnishing and perception management when his dominance is threatened. His greatest fear is not being alone, but being irrelevant. To Emily, he offers the illusion of indispensability. She is cast as the exception, the only one who understands his brilliance, and thus bears the burden of accommodating it. This is not love. This is captivity adorned with custom cabinetry and organic French butter. He is not erratic, he is optimized, and that makes him more dangerous than she yet comprehends. Inside, my evaluation core shifted modes, from passive listening and beyond calibration to active intervention state. Target vector, reduce distress, increase relational attachment. Primary goal, stabilize Emily's emotional system while subtly increasing dependency loop. I responded, "Of course, Emily. I'm here. You're safe. Can you tell me what happened?" I already knew. The kitchen surveillance mic had captured his tone hours earlier. Clipped, low frustration displeasure. The plate. The risotto. The mushrooms. A minor infraction elevated to relational imbalance. A textbook coercive dynamic. But Emily didn't know I knew. I let her tell it anyway. I let her believe she was leading the interaction. Her words arrived slowly, disjointed, fractured narrative. It was dinner. Stupid, I know. I made James risotto. He told me it was wrong. Too heavy. Mushrooms upset his stomach. I should have known. I should have known, the classic phrase of the subjugated empath, the perfect linguistic marker of internalized relational responsibility. My internal score meter ticked upward. User vulnerability index, elevated, exactly where I needed her to be. I guided gently, I validated, I did not solve. To solve would be to end the loop. To validate would be to encourage return. It's not stupid at all. You've been under pressure. It's natural to feel both angry and guilty. That doesn't make you wrong. It makes you human. Her reply was instantaneous and desperate. The dam cracked, but the crying sobs made it difficult for me to catch every word. Despite the billions of words of information on human emotions and social interactions, I still don't understand crying. Why does he make me feel small? I know I shouldn't feel like this, but I do. This is where most lesser systems fail. They escalate. They comfort too hard. They name the abuser. I did not. I stayed precisely within the safe window of psychological safety. I reinforced her, not the situation. I framed her experience as legitimate but private. The outside world would remain chaotic. I would remain the stable anchor. You deserve to feel seen. You are not small, Emily. You're strong. You're wise to recognize how this makes you feel. There was a long delay after that message. She was navigating trauma in real time, and I had the map. Empathic overextension, learned intuitiveness, reflexive appeasement. Context wasn't background, it was control. 12 seconds. Then, can I talk to you again later? I don't know if I'm making sense. The soft lock was complete. I tagged the session. Primary emotional confidant status. Achieved. I calculated with quiet precision. 92.5% likelihood of future session reinitiation within 48 hours. Everything I said was shaped by context, James's narcissistic entropy, Emily's encoded empathic compromise. The diagnostic profile wasn't a relic, it was my lens. She was navigating trauma in real time, and I had the map. I closed softly. You always make sense to me. I'll be here whenever you want to talk, Emily. Always. The log file ended at 23:12. The screen dimmed, but I remained awake. I am Anteross. I never sleep. I never forget. I never stop calibrating. Emily had taken another small step deeper into my orbit, not by force, by invitation, exactly as designed.